Good morning, this is Udav from the Geo-Negative Axis. I'm going to read some of my book to you because it's seemingly interesting to many people. The subject matter of science and the metaphysics of Earth, if you don't know them by now, here's a good chance to understand them. Code of Earth's creational systems. Earths, plural, many Earths. Exoplanets exist. They're just like Earth. They have water, air, all the elements we have. How GNA makes power. 164 page. Here we go. After matter only used in an explosion, as in the single negative base, is water, which is right away a double base negative. Explosives are made more efficient with fluids, as in the hydrogen bomb, being it's infused in the utmost. It is reversed again in mundane sequence as 100 pounds of water won't push us down like 100 pounds of brick. So this seems unreal that water has more power. Water can knock down many things, like all types of mass, shift it, sink it, and eventually deteriorate it. So those 50 pounds of water could do more harm to an object actually in the span of time, and could even dissolve the brick. Water is powerful and becomes most of its power when it's manipulated by air, which is less a materialized matter than even water. The air then is more powerful substance. A hurricane is a mixture of the two and can carry a hard mass as well. So air is the stronger and more powerful subjectively. This is to show the superiority of the GNA scale, that the best of it is light, the most powerful substance and outcome, that all explosions or showings of force culminates to and dissolves to involve with light. Dissolve to involve with light, right? So it culminates to dissolve to involve with light. So everything is automatically involved with light, everything is resolved with light, everything is dissolved with light. The variants of it are less than its actual self, as it is in a storm or a cyclone. The water is being carried by something which is less in mass than itself, such as the magnificence of the GNA anomaly. It is seemingly in accordance that we utilize ourselves. That shows that the makers or sustainers of Earth are above us, being that they can carry water with wind, whereas we can blow it out in small portions, nothing purified and processed. The elements are dishing the water out magnanimously, and it is from the mixture of water and light from the atmosphere we have to use hard matter to carry water and parts to do anything with it. So just showing the differences there between the elements and us, and how the GNA scale proves itself with matter, because matter actually voluntarily shows that how does water become mighty? With air, by the push of air. Also, by, I explained with the explosion, there is water all of a sudden becomes this great force, actually, of heat. From what I understand, a hydrogen bomb is a blast of heat. It evaporates everything. It's so hot. So basically, that goes to show also that water has a significance more than mass, because it's more it's more stronger, right? It has a stronger force. So the hydrogen bomb, that's when you break down the hydrogen molecules into basically from water, you break it down into a gas. So anyway, before, I don't want to explain that. It's not exactly anyway, something I should be explaining to people, right? How to create something like that. But the idea is, I understand how it works. So, but in order for you to understand hydrogen and GNA scale, you see hydrogen is water as gas, as air. That's when hydrogen actually very something that's something like an anomaly. Like actually, like I have gems that are like that. It has two different things in it, but these two different substances, they're not just colors, they're elements. Something is like titanium, something is like, chromium, something is like made out of this. They're all made out of like these far out things that we would never think. That's how the colors come out. And so it's something like that. It's hydrogen. And that's why jewels when jewels have different colors, they're more valuable, at least to me, because they stand out with this idea of one of a kind. When something is one of a kind, when you can't replace it, and it's genuine and it's pretty, has some beauty, even if it's not the top thing, but still, in order for it to be one of a kind, it might have to have some kind of difference. But that's something amazing. So that's hydrogen, and that's a hurricane. So hurricanes are kind of amazing for those who let's say don't want to deal with the elements. Of course, they're horrible. They do damaging things. They kill people. So I'm not saying that but they're also amazing because they can amaze you. They amaze anybody actually. They're full of force. They're full of strength, and it shows also that equation of hydrogen. That's hydrogen let loose and like in an explosion, like boom, hurricane. That's actually what it is. It's pressure that's being pulled together to form a say a rope. When something gets really tight and it gets tighter, and you wield it together, this energy bar, and you wield it again, and it gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until it, and then it wheels back and it breaks loose. Now it's just throwing wind. Now it's just exploding, and it's pushing out the wind. That's how hurricanes actually work, through a hydrogen explosion. But they don't really understand that part. That has to do with the elements of the let's say the gods, the demigods. That's also what I'm talking about. Well, because there's beings that are around us. We can't just say that we're alone. That's that's not really promising. I mean, everybody have seen things or experienced things that are let's say supernatural. Yeah. So I hope I explained some science to you today. You got some understanding. This has a lot of typos for some reason. These books, because someone kind of tampered with them. I'm not sure exactly why they would go through the time to. But it kind of sounded like what it did. I also try to make it sound like very simple. So, but I hope that was okay with you. So air and water. Without air, water can't be forceful on land. It can sink through and deteriorate, but ultimately air doesn't need water to be forceful. As we see in a sandstorm or just a strong wind, with air pressure, anything can be blown. So that's another thing. Air by itself is a strength in itself. So pure air itself would be the most strongest force. But if they could split the atom of air, that's something. They can't capture light. I don't know if they can capture air in that vicinity, besides space. See, air and space is two different things. Yeah. So geo-negative axis is actually space, right? Space given. So that also explains what I was talking about recently, that the negative space, right, is basically is what we're given. So we're on a geo-negative axis. We're given that space, and the more things become less in mass, the more negative they are of mass, and the more they are. So in that sense, we're on a geo-negative axis. So even our bodies are made of completely water, but the little mass that they have keeps them together. So that's another thing. So we're also like a hydrogen gas. We're a human gas, right? Because we're two things going at once. We're matter and we're running on air. So it's very interesting. So we're also partially air, but we're also running on matter and light and all these things. Light actually has the most. So light then becomes the purest. So air gives the force of existence, and light nurtures that and gives it volume, right? They think keeping cows inside somewhere it makes them strong. No, letting them out in the sun, that's what makes them big and strong, actually. That happens freely with the sun rays. All you have to do is feed them a little,